She just wants to be the best basketball player. And she's caught up in this political deal, and she's caught up in this racial discussion, and she's dealing with Nike, an organization that got her on a bargain basement deal and is telling her, well, we're gonna wait to promote you until we're done promoting Asia Wilson. Won't even put out a Caitlyn Clark commercial, won't put out a Caitlyn Clark shoe, because Nike has decided that they must bow.
People's interest in sports is declining, so what's the real story with Neek and what role does Caitlyn Clark play? Nike's fortunes have recently declined compared to 2021 when they were worth over $100 billion, 0 cents less. The situation got so bad that many demand their CEO be fired, forcing them to step down play in it. There is some good news, though, as Nike has signed LeBron James, one of the only generational athletes with the potential to make billions. Michael Jordan, both Tiger Woods and Caitlyn Clark, who in April this year inked an 8-year contract worth up to. The company will gain a lot from the $28 million 0 cents arrangement with Nike, particularly with a recognizable sneaker. Despite Caitlyn Clark winning the WNBA Rookie of the Year award unanimously, Nike has no plans to manufacture a sneaker. Why not? This is obviously untrue. What are they hiding? This story takes an amazing turn. Nike is also making the most of its fortunate marketing chance. To begin, Caitlyn had already signed a non-compete agreement with Nike due to her huge fame when she went viral in college. Caitlyn was twice as popular as all other collegiate athletes in the country, like this Angel Reese, who finished second and was 4 times more popular than the most popular male player, something that had never happened before. A number of shoe companies pursued her. When she became a professional, she joined Under Armour as the face of the Curry brand, and Adidas and Nike also made offers because Nike had kept pushing her during her college years, and everyone was waiting for news about her trademark sneaker. She stayed with the firm, but there hasn't been any yet, and the one that is there is really ridiculous. Asia Wilson, who had just won another MVP award, then removed her shoe, disclosing a startling fact about the Caitlyn Wilson shoe, which was developed in 2023 and is set for release in the spring of 2025. According to this 2-year schedule, Clark sneakers might be available for purchase in stores in 2026 or 2027. Why 2027? Nike's justification for the procedure is complex and requires the cooperation of Clark and the Nike team, in addition to the manufacturing of millions of pairs in order to plan a marketing campaign. Since LeBron had his own footwear line during his first season, Nike recognized the chance to release LeBron's shoe 20 years ago and acted quickly. This individual will play a significant role in whatever reason they can't do this for Caitlyn Clark. And sure enough, there has been a Nike commercial with Clark as a professional, although it's not exactly imposed on the public. Consider the fact that there has been an advertisement with Caitlyn Clark, who has been the driving force in sports for the last 4 years, if Nike's making that claim. They're telling lies. In 2003, LeBron James was approached by several companies who wanted to sign him. Nike, Adidas, and Reebok were all interested in purchasing his signature sneaker, and they even started developing his sneaker before he signed. They came up with an internal code called Air Zoom Nobel, which is LeBron spelled backwards, because they opted for the Air Zoom generation because they didn't want the news to leak, which was evident. Without LeBron's knowledge, Nike began designing and manufacturing a sneaker for him while he was still in high school, and they were successful in their attempt to overwhelm him. When LeBron joined Nike, he made his NBA debut wearing the LeBron one. Asked, there's more going on here wearing Kobe sneakers, right? You're telling me that Nike's shoe production has gone so awful that it now takes 3 years to perform a work that used to take 3 months. Despite breaking records, Caitlyn hasn't been in a Nike ad, but they are actively working to keep her out of the spotlight, considering that the entire strategy had placed her under one of the longest contracts ever, only for Nike to disregard her since they're focusing on someone else based on discussions with informed people. Yes, A. Wilson is connected to WNBA MVP and Nike athlete Asia Wilson. However, the age of According to renowned journalist Ethan Strauss on Substack, Wilson highlights the company's culture, which is more concerned with suppressing criticism than fostering it, as Nike once did. Based on conversations with insiders, it is unquestionably connected to WNBA MVP and Nike athlete A'ja Wilson. After Caitlyn Clark signed her $28 million 0-cents contract with Nike, social media was extremely critical of her. In fact, a prominent newspaper's headline claimed that Caitlyn was getting a pair of shoes, which sparked the outcry. However, Caitlyn's acquisition of her own shoe is a positive step for women's basketball. According to the narrative, others have been incensed by the arrangements reporting what's wrong. Some fans claimed that the only WNBA players wearing signature shoes were white players. Many people believe that A.A. Wilson of the Las Vegas Aces, who had not yet participated in a WNBA game, should have had her own shoe before Clark. Possibly this turned off Nike because they don't give a damn regarding business. They care about diversity, equity, and inclusion, not WNBA expansion. What they're doing to Caitlyn Clark is crazy. Caitlyn's lack of basketball skills isn't the problem, since it's not a strong business and it doesn't have a long-term vision. The issue is that it's unjust and racist. Why would Nike alter their strategy when it comes to equity and profits? This only serves to emphasize the racist motivation, doesn't it? Had they only followed the most profitable path, the situation would not have attracted as much attention later. In his post, Ethan drew a fantastic comparison between Tim Duncan and Allen Iverson. No one seemed to be complaining about fairness, even though Duncan was clearly the better player. In fact, Tim Duncan's sneakers were evaluated twice by Nike before being discontinued due to poor sales. So who knows, Caitlyn Clark's situation might be different if Fia Wilson had said, Duncan, they aren't as she should. AA likes being promoted by Nike. Most people want to appear in advertisements and on billboards. It's also profitable, Wilson said to her teammate Kelsey Plum. But it seems that she also supports the notion that it is racist, who is white. Even though it goes without saying that Paige is a talented basketball player, she is conscious of how her privilege led her to that position. So I truly see you in her. It's not really about me. Plum replied, thank you. But A's reply implies that Paige's, think of the backlash Caitlyn would have faced if Nike had given her a pair of sneakers right away. The coach of Team USA also took issue with Caitlyn. Of course, she is a great basketball player, but which one is it? They don't want to bother A'ja if she is Nike's best female athlete. The WNBA used the hashtag to upset many preseason coaches when they mentioned Clark, the first preseason game that put Caitlyn in the spotlight, on Twitter. However, the USA and Lynx coach stated that there are other teams playing tonight besides Caitlyn Clark, ET set, and there are multiple players in the. An adult woman is furious at a 22-year-old's debut, but it shouldn't be shocking that Caitlyn wasn't selected for Team USA. What excuse was given? She still hadn't earned it, so that's not VI. After leading all rookies in points, field goals, assists, steals, and minutes, I made this basketball decision. The average crowd at a WNBA game is about 300,000, yet Caitlyn ended up making the first team All-WNBA, leading all players in assists and three-pointers, and placing fourth in the MVP voting. Over 1 million people watched her games on TV, and the price of her first-round playoff ticket exceeded the entire cost of the Washington Mystics, who had to relocate to the Wizards Arena to accommodate all of the fans, recently hosted the Indiana Fever in all previous WNBA playoff games, setting a new record for WNBA attendance. Despite the fuss, she is that talented. Ultimately, Team USA acknowledged that leaving her off had been a mistake. The list. What about Nike? Do you think that Caitlyn Clark's parents are genuinely terrified of the backlash on social media and aren't letting their daughter have her own pair of sneakers? The CEO resigned for the following reasons. Really clear. Kindly express your thoughts with me in the space provided for comments below.